crewmen, Joe, we are crewmen. Tomorrow when this thing hits the fan because of my horn or crew people are not known for being silent when they should speak out. I'm speaking out now. I've talked my own. Were you happy? Will the man be withdrawn or rejected by the Senate? At least the record will reflect. And I'm going to make all the radio stations and the newspapers so that my children will know that when a natural born Nigerian was appointed, our father opposed to it. Our father's friend, His Excellency George Mane Bakubewia, made that decision, and our father looked in his face and said, no. What is wrong with the executive committee of our party meeting with the standard bearer? All elected members of the party are members of the executive committee. When these kind of controversial things are coming, we should go to Jamaica or go to our party headquarters and bushel it. Then we will be selling it. But if some of us hear on radio like opposition people do, then you don't give us enough reason to fight. What kind of appointment the president made and ordinary citizens are paying for spots on radio to go defend it? Does this make any sense to you? Doesn't it smell? It is stink. It is stink. This appointment should be withdrawn by the president. Like I told you, as soon as I get home, I get ready. Wherever the president is today, I will go there. I want to hold his 2 feet on camera and everything else. Rear my 2 hands, I'll wash them whatever way they want me to wash my hands. I'll wash them and I'll hold his 2 feet to withdraw this appointment. Let him look.
Those activities, especially in glaring violation of the elections law, are something that any meaningful institution, organization, especially human rights, will want to call on the National Elections Commission, including the parties responsible when it comes to violating these laws. What continued to happen in recent time is not just the ruling party, but even the opposition. They have been in broad daylight violation of the electoral laws. The Elections Commission, which is responsible legally for organizing, carrying on, implementing electoral processes in our country, has not declared campaign open. But I can tell you, for the last 5 months, politicians, people who have interest in political positions, have been campaigning under the banner of petitioning them, under the banner of giving food out to vulnerable people and what have you. And this is in glaring violation of the electoral laws, which of course the Election Commission has not come out to say anything whatsoever regarding what is happening. And these are things that continue to ferment violence in our country. You've been hearing about what happened in Granji there, what happened in Clarita, and what is happening all around the country regarding electoral violence and what have you. I think it is about time that the Elections Commission take the bull by the horn and ensure that she begin to warn these individuals that continue to violate. Some of them should be barred from the process because you cannot be violating the laws. We are talking about the rule of law, and these individuals, they are cognizant of the law. Campaign has not been declared open. Why are these people campaigning openly? Everywhere you turn, they are campaigning and collecting votes. They're even on the radio and talking about these kinds of things. We don't want to call name now, but we are monitoring the process. They know themselves, and the public know what is happening, both on the ruling party and the opposition or political parties. They are campaigning heavily all around the place for votes, and even dishing out money, pre-campaign activities in the absence of the declaration of campaign. This is wrong.
The representative and senator make equal amount. They have the same budget. They have everything the same, and which is not realistic. It's not practical. Most people don't even know that senators and representatives are equal in the financial compensation, remuneration, and the budget to do the work. How can the senator of Monserrado County, how many districts you have here? You understand? 17 districts. How can that person who's expected to visit every district and report to every district and follow up with the citizens and programs and projects of every district have the same budget that representative for one district who doesn't have to go to any other district? How can he have the same gasoline allowance? How can he have the same project allowance? How can he have the same salaries? How can he have the same everything? So the argument, I raised it with some of my colleagues in the States, okay? So how is it done here? So look, the representatives and senators, we make the same money. They make the same pay because they are doing the same work, but they don't have the same budget. The senator's budget is probably 3-4 times that of the representative, because what they do is they separate the salaries from the budget to visit, budget to have your office, the budget to have your meetings, the budget to have your oversight. They separate. So a senator, maybe in the States, if he has $1, maybe the representative for his budget and his salary included would be 10 cents. You understand? But here, people don't understand. So I wrote this communication 3-4 times. Every time this will read, look, there's a big difference between the Senate and the representative. Every time I went to Maryland, I had to visit my 4 districts. The representative only stay in the one district. They never ever goes to any other district. So you see the chances of even representative getting re-elected is higher than the senators.
When the driver suffer in the mud, when they get to a checkpoint, when they talking to officer, saying that, oh man, why I get now easy and I suffer. Even they see the man that they suffering. They say, but man, come in the office. They sit in the Palawa house, sometimes in the purple thing. Then they say, come to my office. Then when you go, you talk to them, oh, I get 300, I get 200 for you to buy battery. Then they say, no, you pay 1,500 is wrong. Because sometimes when they do this, the driver can be thinking, they can cause him damage.
Are you saying that the security on the road are taking money from you?
It's too much from Mosoralo to Maryland, Plibo to get to Harper City.
How much can you spend by giving the security on the roads? How much you can spend?
When you get to a checkpoint, the first thing, but when you tell them, say, oh, join men at John Security, they say, no, we ain't working together at John Security. And but we, the drivers, personally, they know that, yeah, John Security control a checkpoint. But when you tell them, say, John Security, 200, 300, they say, why can't the man office? Somebody will just come and say, a DA.
Are you talking about DEA, immigration, and the national
They
police?
get DA, they get police, they get immigration, they get fire service, they get different organizations.
It's very hard to go see to the main too.
Oh, so the man wanted for you to go steal from the web post too?
Yeah. He said I'm a join to go see to the web minister too. They get money to the store, they will go take it from there. I said, my man, I only buy for the same leisure.
Then how can the police catch you now?
The police people, before the man call me back, I was on the 18th. They more.
The same man now?
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go steal?
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in the night, around about 8:30, the man called me. He said, oh, my man, I'll let you be there and call you back again.
So that time you go to work?
I go to work.
You leave from your working place, you come to the man?
Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go steal now?
No, I'm not go steal. I go steal. I go to yeah. How you question me, man? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear?
Okay, let's go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say.
When they call you in the night now?
When the man call me in the night.
Yeah.
He asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the man, say, you're 3?
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to the...
The man say, you want to give you what?
Tea. Hot milk tea. Hot milk tea.
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
The bread?
3 pieces of full bread.
With egg inside?
With egg inside, mighty. Butter. So, when I carry it to the man, say, carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the food the man give you now, you carry it so you can go convince your friend now?
Yeah. When I give it to the man, the man say, thank you. I say, okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right here. So one of my friends called me.
Yeah, the same man you going to now?
Yeah, the same man.
The man tell you say he want for you to go steal?
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say, clean the car. Then they are 2 now.
In the Jeep?
In the Jeep. Then they are 2.
A big Jeep?
Yeah.
That one?
Black BG. 4 doji.
4 doji?
Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside?
No. Papi, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. But you can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people like can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you double in the question, can I say when I move from here I'll free? Can I say when I move from here I'll free? If you say one talk again, I wanted to make a whole talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, I'm looking, hi, you looking, hi, looking. Then you want force another more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to again. And said they call me to the office. I go explain.
I think you explain to me that you come to get vet. You say you carry the tea to the man. After you carry the tea to the man, you come now. So what next now?
For me, I will not vet.
Nobody, you getting vet. You say asking you too much question. Hey, just explain things. Say you make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. That's why I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
okay, I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go ahead now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. That's why I say sorry.
You take time. You take time.
Taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I said I can take time
To explain. Yeah, okay.
You said rest, you brought dirty rest in the country, your cause on
I asked somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza, you said that you pull it down. So I don't expect you to say anything. You said rest, you brought dirty rest in the country, your cause on
I asked somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza, you said that you pull it down. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise.
And the dogs.
I like it.
Good morning, people of Liberia. Good morning, residents of Liberia. Good morning, Magidi. Good morning, Bapolo. Good morning, Kakata City, Magidi County, where our man Walcott Kiri is. Good morning to Bombing County, Sino, Grand Jida, Nimba, Grand Crew. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And today is Tuesday, the 4th day of April 2023. Yeah, welcome to the program this morning. That's the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. My name is Fidel, Saydee, and shortly I'll be joined by my colleague Dennise, Nimpson, and together we'll ride you on the breakfast program this morning from the nation's capital in Monrovia, right at the intersection of Broad and Buchanan Streets, opposite the National Museum, and right by the AGM High School. That's where we're broadcasting from this morning. Welcome to the Morning Breeze, and as usual, it promises to be great. The 9 o'clock segment of the program this morning will play host to Grand Crew County Superintendent, and we'll be on the line with her from Grand Crew County. The Vice President is expected in Grand Crew. She'll be telling us more about the Vice President's visit and other developmental initiatives she has undertaken. When I say she, I mean her administration has undertaken since being appointed by the President. The challenges in Grand Crew are things we'll be talking about on the program this morning. But before then, of course, we go across the city and give you our traffic alerts, our motivational quote, African proverb, And then we'll go across the country to speak with our correspondents. And then we'll have hot talking issues this morning, just before we get to our guests at 9 o'clock. The uncouth display by the Minister of Transport against protesting workers at the Ministry of Transport. I mean workers who are raising legitimate concerns regarding their salaries. We'll be talking about that this morning. And also the allegation of a Stanton Witherspoon against the Finance Minister Samuel Toure in the wake of hospitals lacking drugs and people protesting across the country regarding salaries. Samuel Toure is alleged to have induced talk show hosts with 50,000 United States dollars monthly. We'll be talking about that this morning. When the story appears, that's when we wake it up. And so that's how it is this morning on the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. So invite a friend to tune in with you, or still go to our social media page on Facebook on ABC Radio 105.1 official and share our video. Follow our page to get updates right here on your radio. 105.1 is the dial. And the name is Fidel Saydee, shortly to be joined by Dennise Nimpson. Still tuned, don't go away. And let's have a swell time together on the radio this morning. Our motivational quote says, "You cannot cross the sea by merely standing and staring at the water." You cannot cross the sea by merely standing and staring at the water. You will just be static where you are and you will not take a step. It definitely means you cannot achieve your goals just by thinking and hoping about them. Like the way the Zoko can behave. I mean, those those wayward boys. Yeah, I mean, people don't like to call them that way, but that's realistically, that's how they are. That's who they are. You not hear them talking BB team before? Oh God, yeah, man, you are in way London. You just keep hoping about what you will be in the future without working towards what you will be. It's more like wanting to cross the sea, but you just stand in the water. You're not moving, you just stand in the water, but you won't cross the sea. And that's why this motivational quote says to you, you have to work towards the goal and work towards achieving them. Not just by having the dream, but working towards the dream. That's our motivational quote for this morning. And our African proverb says, the best way to eat an elephant in your path is to cut him up into little pieces. The best way to eat an elephant in your path is by cutting it into little pieces. And so this goes to say the best way to solve a problem is by dealing with it small, little by little, till the entire problem is solved. Again, your problem cannot be solved by the magic wand. You must deal with it little by little, small, and then the problem will be solved. So those are our motivational quote and African proverb this morning. And it's time to give you our traffic alert. If you are coming from the St. Paul Bridge or Broadville, Virginia end, a traffic alert for you along the route leading to Momotown, right around the beer factory area. You must be aware of that traffic. And as you turn left, also be aware of the traffic right at the bridge, Caldwell Bridge. And you are going straight towards the Douala end. You also have to be aware of traffic around the Douala end. the main Douala market area around Simaris, and then as you push towards the Caldwell Junction end, also be aware of traffic. And as you even move further around Jamaica Road, you also have to be aware of the traffic. Just before you get to the Freeport of Monrovia, there's a road construction works ongoing at that end, and so you must also be aware. And as you cross the Freeport end and you approach the Vatan area, you also have to be aware of the traffic around that area. And not just only that, as you approach the Vatan around the bridge, before you get to the Gabriel Tucker Bridge, you also have to be aware of the traffic there as well. And once you cross the bridge, of course, you are safe, and you know full well that you are already in central Monrovia. Okay, so you have to be aware of all of those traffic ends are right there. And if you are coming through the Logan Town end, coming from Caldwell, be aware of traffic around the Caldwell New Georgia end. And as you cross Caldwell New Georgia and approach the Caldwell Bridge, you also have to be aware that there's a traffic right there. Traffic is always there. And if you were using the route through Logan Town, of course you have free passage there, but you have to be aware of the potholes as well. And speed breakers are there, so you also have to be aware of those speed breakers. And as you move further through Logan Town towards Jamaica Road, trying to get through the cow factory end, there's not much of traffic between there. But again, as you take the right turn towards Freeport, you have to be aware of the traffic right there. And if you're coming from Painesville, the first traffic you will encounter is the ELWA junction. And as you push further towards SKD Boulevard, you will see traffic right there at SKD Boulevard. And as you move closer towards town, around the Catley Junction end, there's always traffic there, whether you're coming from town or going towards town. And even as you push further around the 540 end, all right, the ministerial complex, you also have to be aware of the traffic there. Sometimes it runs as far as the RC Lawson. And as you move further front towards town, you also have to be aware of traffic around the Old Road Junction, just before you get to the Invisible Park. And as you move further towards Vamoma, you also have to be aware of traffic. As you are driving through towards 18th Street, 24th Street end, you also have to be aware of the traffic right there. And as you push further towards town around the Capitol Bypass end, right at the intersection there towards Dallas Town, Central Town, and using the Camp Johnson Road in, you also have to be aware of traffic. And so those are our traffic alerts for this morning on ABC Radio 105.1 on your radio. And so let's recognize those watching this morning. Kenneth Sawyer is watching this morning. I don't know from where. Ibrahino Jata is also watching as well, and I guess he's watching from his Freeport office. If you are following this broadcast, kindly share the video. Of course, share the video. Let's now run across the country and speak to our correspondents. Let's hear what's going on across Liberia this morning on ABC Radio 105.1. Okay, welcome back to the program. It's actually icy cold in here, and I'm practically, my fingers are trembling as a result of the cold. I ain't going to America here. But folks, let's go across the country right now. We stop strictly Grand Bassa County, where our man Prince Yukon J. Wamplu. Prince Wamplu is in Grand Bassa County, Buchanan City, to be specific. Prince is now on the line. Good morning, Prince Wamplu. Welcome to ABC Radio and the Morning Breeze.
Good morning, Fidel. Good morning to your co-host, and I'm glad this morning to join you on the program Morning Breeze.
How is the weather in Buchanan City?
We have a fair weather this morning. A breeze from the Atlantic Ocean giving a nurturing face to the people of Buchanan City and the extension of the district. So we have a perfect weather at the morning, sunshine, and everything's quiet on the side.
That's good. Tell us, we've been told that the secretary, is it the secretary of the Abilities faction of the Liberty Party has resigned. Give us full detail of that story and state any inaccuracy. Mm-hmm.
You are correct. The director for county affairs of the Liberty Party faction, Musa Ability Liberty Party faction. Mm-hmm. We in Grand Bassa County, the news is the one that we're all looking at this morning from a political standpoint. Daniel Tatus Wisiji from the Rivers County and Grand Bassa, because he had been involved in political activities in Grand Bassa County, but at one point in time he was a Liberty Party. I'm very sure he's still with the Liberty Party in terms of the position. He did not resign that position for the Rivers County. Mm-hmm. In Rivers County, he was a former Liberty Party chairperson. Tata Wisiji has been seen most recent with the former managing director of the port, the National Port Authority. Mm-hmm. So he closed there with the former managing director and with the ongoing havoc within the Liberty Party. Had led, according to him, to suspend his membership for the Liberty Party until after the 2023 elections. He said the Liberty Party should put her pieces together and have a candidate in 2029. And not to be wanting to crawl behind another senator, another party to serve as running mate, or the Liberty Party to be dragging into completion of the election period. So based upon that, he resigned as the director for county affairs from the Liberty Party Ability faction.
Now, as significant as his role is in those two counties, how is he? I mean, how are the folks in the Liberty Party reacting to this news?
Now, like we all know, the Liberty Party is currently split. So you see that from Bassa here, the Ability faction of the Liberty Party are not too angry with the decision. They are now with a front face of the decision, but from the is in the Lawrence side of the Liberty Party. They consider his decision as something they are already aware of, call it known upon arrival. And so the interim party has been one of the strong critics against Senator Lawrence, faction of the Liberty Party, and he has been toying with most ability to a lot of other areas in Grand Bassa County and Riverside. So the Liberty Party faction of Nyomli are not saying that this is expected news. They expected it to know that he was going to make a decision, and they are not saying that that decision is intended to support President George Manawi as secretary and bid, and that's the reason why Tatas Wisiji or Daniel Tatas Wisiji crossed over indirectly, but in the form of resigning from his position until after election.
Okay. Is there any other thing we need to know from Grand Bassa?
So, the IRED report card is out, and in Electoral District number 2 yesterday, as use of the area, or describing the report card of Representative Mary Cowell as something that is not in favor of them. They consider it as a low performance. She's not attending most of the sections, and then they are not calling that they want to replace her. But from office, the staffers are not saying that is a normal politics. I'm only saying some of the meetings that people make in the process, it will not generally on the basis of performance in her district, but as it relates to capital building and other activities. So yeah, they are saying that that's a common politics this year from the angle of Ganja Bakpa. But right after the news broke up, Honorable Janja Bakbai, the Superintendent of Grand Bassa County, was able to start the installation of lights in major towns and villages in Electoral District number 2, claiming that he is the person now to give a better living condition and livelihood to people district number 2. Says that the lawmaker have failed, according to IRA report.
Okay. Now, we've not heard any news of the resignation, even though the date stated by the president in his executive order says on or before April 7. But does it appear like Superintendent Janji Gbape will resign anytime soon?
Yes, I want to start from saying yes, because if you tour around the fairground area that's hosting the superintendent of the county, you will see that there's a form of gradual cleaning out of the area. And if you look on Facebook as well, and with some intelligence we're getting from in the administrative building in Buchanan City, indeed, Superintendent Janja Bakwa will resign before the date the date announced by the president for April 9. And there are sounds showing with his more commitment in electoral district number 2, and not often the superintendent is on the radio. Not often the superintendent is now getting involved in the administrative issue of the county. So yeah, there are very clear sounds that Superintendent Bakwa may resign before the deadline day.
Thank you so much, Prince. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
Thank you so kind, Fidel.
Okay, let's now run to Sino County, where our man Elijah Grendo is, to find out what's obtaining in Sino County. My own Sino County, by the way. Let's run to Elijah Grendo in Sino and find out what's the latest in Sino County. But this is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. A stalwart of the Liberty Party has indirectly resigned with news potentially that he will join the ruling party and support the re-election bid of President George Weah in October of this year, because he's seen behind former National Port Authority boss Bill Twewe on most of his operations in Riverside County. Okay, let's go to Lofa County, where our man Samuel Bole is. We are told that the former vice president and standard bearer of the Unity Party has donated 300 bags of 25 kg rice and vegetable and oil to the Muslim community in Lofa County. Let's join our man Samuel Bole now in Lofa County and find out exactly what's going on there in Lofa County with this news, and what are the reactions of citizens of Lofa County, especially the Muslim community in Lofa County. We're trying to get our man Samuel Bole, and of course, as you know, this is Liberia. Sometimes it's difficult to get our guys through due to network, but thankfully we've gotten Samuel Bole. Samuel Bole is now on the line live from Lofa County. Samuel, good morning and welcome to the Morning Breeze.
Yeah, good morning. And let me say good morning to our entire listener. Lofa County is okay this morning.
Okay, tell us what have been the reactions of the members of the Muslim community in Lofa County as a result of the former vice president's donation?
Well, when it comes to reaction, they are very overhappy. Like we spoke with the Muslim Council chair, Laji Bloma Kamara, when he revealed that this is not the first time. Even last year, he received a huge donation when it comes to the fasting aspect. He said even though he ended before the fasting because of some of the difficulties on the road, but he said he received the same amount. And according to him, the donation was given according to, he read like they started with the donation in Goru, also in Saraye, also Bonjama received 100 bear, where you talk about Konya to receive 100 bear of 25 kg, plus the team of vegetable oil. Kolahan received 96 bear of 25 kg, among others. And he said, well, this is not the first time, and they're going to make sure to pray for the nation and also they're going to make sure they pray for him for the long life. And while we are going for the election, their focus this year is about peace, unity among the citizens, among the Liberian, so that we cannot express conflict. If anyone want to bring the conflict, he said, well, those are the things to pray for, so that God can counsel all of us to go for the election peaceful.
Okay. Now, was the vice president present, or he sent an entourage to Lofa?
Yeah, he was not present. The team was sent, and the team, the person that was representing the team was Madam Rufo Pade, and she revealed that, well, matter of fact, started a distribution and an angle to reach the unit coordinator, and the donation is presented to the unity party coordinator. The coordinator will present it to the Muslim party. She said, she revealed to us that, well, matter of fact, this is just the beginning. Even they are working on it seriously because the security was raising some concern, and also the media board raised concern. The other sector, the women group, was raising some concern. She said, well, matter of fact, this is just the beginning. And she revealed that, well, for the former vice president, she sued for this money. This is why she purchased the one he can be able to afford.
Okay.
She said when others hear that they have given, some of them will come with 1,000, 5,000, bed of 25 kg, but some of them will not be able to work for it. Some of them it will be credit. Some of them will have to steal it before they bring it for them. But for him, he said, the Muslims are PO people. He fought for it so that he can bring a little he can afford him and his family.
Okay. Now, has the donation made by Mr. President reached the people of Lofa yet?
Well, the review, but they have not distributed across the various county, the various districts. Recently, about 225 bed of 25 kg was presented, but it is still in the cover of the county superintendent. When the donation is made to the Muslim, and according to them, they will call the media when it is passed to the Muslim body.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel Bole there from Lofa County. Thank you. It was nice having you on the line. Let's now run to Sano County, where our man Elijah Grendo is. Elijah Grendo is from Sino County, and we need to know what's obtaining in Sano County. And let's get to Elijah Grendo now in Sino County and find out what is happening in the port city of Greenville, Sino County. Okay, Elijah is on the line right now. Let's join him. Good morning, Elijah, and welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio. How is Greenville City this morning?
Well, good morning, Fidel, and thanks for having me on the show. Greenville is fine. Sano is doing good.
What is of interest to us that we need to know from Sino County?
Well, thank you. So the National Lottery Authority of Liberia had over the weekend distributed food and other assorted material to people living with disabilities in Sino. And the donation also captured the County Owner Repair Hospital, the FJ Grant Memorial Hospital. And according to Manadu, she said it is the way of the government of Liberia. It is their own way of extending that gesture to the southeastern part of the country. And the donation was made to three disabled organizations to name the National Union of Disabled, the Cuba 77, and the National Commission for Disability.
Now,
such items that were donated include over 90 bags of the 25 kg rice, a carton of soap, gallons of oil, among others.
Now, what has been the responses of these beneficiary organizations?
Yeah, so we managed to talk to the head of the National Union of Disabled, Mr. Rudy City. And Mr. Saydee has sent thanks to the National Lottery Authority, but again made an appeal to the Lottery Authority so that they can decentralize their activities. According to him, he does not want the activities to just be for Greenville, but the entire county as a whole. And in his concluding statement, he presented a document requesting farming material to name shovel, hook, cutlasses, and even mobility, so that the disabled organization here can be able to empower themselves. In fact, it was surprising to know when Mr. Saydee informed the donor that they are currently having a 2-farm project now in Greenville. One is a plenty farm, and the next one is a vegetable farm.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Grendo. It was nice having you on the program this morning, and we look forward to hearing from you tomorrow.
Well, thank you. It is all my pleasure.
Okay. Elijah Grendo is from the Sino County. That is. He's been on the line telling us about the donation made by the national lotteries to the disabled community, and he said 3 disabled organizations benefited from the donation, as well as the FG Grant Memorial Hospital in Greenville, Sano County. But the disabled community has made an appeal to the lottery authority to decentralize our activities and as well help them with farming materials, farming implements as they go into the farming season. All right. No, what's the okay. Okay, let's go now to Margibi County, where our man Walcott Kerry is. Let's get to Walcott Kerry this morning in Margibi County. Walcott Kerry is in Kakata, Margibi County. Let's hear from Walcott what's happening in Margibi this morning. Of course, the investigation into the allegations of corruption levied against county health authorities have been ongoing in Margibi County, and we are told that the head of the hospital was sent for by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission in Monrovia, and the case is still ongoing. But let's get to Walcott Kerry. Good morning, Walcott. Welcome to the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to our listeners.
How is Kakata City?
Kakata City, as we speak, is very calm and peaceful, and we're having a very, very sunny, shining weather.
Okay. Walcott, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. All right. Now tell us what is happening in Margibi. What is of interest to the public in Margibi? The most significant issue of interest to the people.
Well, the most significant interest issues among Margibians now, which they are debating, is that His Excellency Dr. George Manuel, President of the Republic of Liberia, through the Internal Affairs Ministry, has dished out huge amounts of food items, especially the pro rice to the Muslim communities, at least to break their fast. So this is the most topical issues now in Margibi County, and they said the president is always doing that, especially when it comes to the Muslim community. But for the Christians, they have not benefited anything of the such from the president yet, and they said they want President Weah, in his wisdom as president in the country, to also think in that direction.
Okay, are they indicating that the president usually makes donation to the Muslim community during the period of fasting, and he doesn't do same to the Christian community? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is what the two communities are saying, especially the Christian community. They are also saying that President Weah, in his wisdom, also need to be catering to them, not only the Muslim community, especially when the Muslims are about to end their fasting. The president will apportion huge amount of bag of rice to the Muslim community and leaving the Christians out, and they said it is not fair.
Okay, but let's
we are to think in that direction.
Okay, but let's get to the reaction of those who received the donation. What are they saying?
Well, the Muslim communities are receiving the donation from the president. Also use the platform to say thank you
to His Excellency President Weah for the gesture, and he said it will help them, especially in this economic hardship time in our country history. And they call on President Weah and the Minister of Internal Affairs, Honorable Vani Ali, to always cater to humanity, especially they as Muslims, as they're going through fasting, and they are there in the gap as religious leaders backed with other religious denominations to at least pray for the country, for the peace and stability and development in the country. But by and large, they are sending an appreciation message to President Weah for his humanitarian gesture to them.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Wakot Kirin. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our listening audience. I am Wakot Kirin in Kakata, Magibi County.
Okay, thank you, Wakot Kirin. Let's run quickly to Nima County. Before then, I've been joined by my colleague, Dennise Nimpson. Dennise, good morning. Sorry, I got you wrongly. Good morning, Dennise.
Good morning, Fidel, and it is good to be back on the program this morning. Too many things to talk about, so we are here this morning.
Oh yeah, we are here. Too many things to talk about. The the issue, Dennise, our various communities are getting dangerous as a result of the abuse of drugs by young people, and it's alarming. We will talk about that this morning. Let's get to our man Joseph Kekula in Nima County and find out what's going on in Nima County there. If we can get Joseph, then we'll call it a day. But let's see whether we can get him through on the line this morning. Our man Joseph Kekula is on the line for Nima County right now. Good morning, Joseph, and welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio.
Good morning, and good morning to the people of Liberia, and good morning to Monrovia.
How is Nimba? Sanikwele, I guess you are. Saklepie, that is. Okay. How is Saklepie?
Yeah. Saklepie is not bad. I will praise God for waking up sound and safe.
That's good. Tell us, what's happening in that part of Nimba?
A group of women, a women group called Women of Purpose is calling on governments and humanitarians to help them with some materials or support, let's say, to help them with support in empowering women across the country. This group is a women-based group in Nimba. It has 8 branches in other parts of Nimba, in the 6 cities of Nimba, and they are involved with soap making and soap making tie and dye and other skill training programs. Since the group was established, it has trained over 100 plus women across Nimba. But according to Yenti Jones, who is the executive director, she said that there are challenges they face in the process because fees are attached to this, to attending this institution is less, but most of the women who have interest in attending or learning these skills cannot afford to pay this amount, which is 3,000 Liberian dollars for the courses. So she's calling on governments and other institutions, NGOs around the country to help this institution empower women in Nimba and Liberia. She's saying that women are having the desire to learn and to have their skills built, but then due to the lack of funding, most of them cannot be able to continue with the programs. She's told us that she have a list of women, most of them who are widows, and some of them they are widows and they cannot afford to be able to pay these fees. So she wants these assistance from people around the country to help at least promote this institution in empowering women in Liberia.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the other colleagues.
Okay, he's our man Joseph Kekula from Nima County. Dennise,
yes.
I mean, that's very important, and I think maybe she should start getting to people directly instead of these open appeals, because what they are doing there is very important to the people, not only to the people of Saklepie, but also the entire Nima County and Liberia at large, because their activities could expand to other parts of the country, and I think women should be supported in that regard. Let's get straightly to Maryland County and close up this morning. Our man Patrick Mensah is in Maryland County. Let's find out. It is good that we get to know what's happening across the country, and as we get to these elections, of course, we give you updates, real-time updates, and we will give you real-time updates on this radio. We intend to make this radio one that is not too far from you. Anything you want to hear from anywhere, any part of Liberia, you'll be able to hear it. And so as we approach the election period, you experience that. Let's go to Grand Crew. If we can get our man from Maryland, get our man from Grand Crew quickly. Comment from I know for some reason Dennise know the buff. I know our man full name at any time. Every time I forget, she reminds me. Frederick, yeah. Let's get to our man Frederick Comment there in Grand Crew County and find out the vice president is expected to visit Grand Crew County, and Frederick Comment is there, and we'll be speaking with the superintendent at 9 o'clock. Basically, those are things we'll be talking about and other development initiatives in Grand Crew County. Okay, we can get him. So that's it this morning on the correspondent segment of the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Dennise, again, welcome. How was your night?
Yeah, it was okay. I had a restful night. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
and how was yours?
Oh, well, I had a great night. I had a bit of rest. Thanks to you for giving me the go ahead. A bit of rise on yesterday, but again, this is the job we are tied to doing, and we've committed ourselves to doing.
And I like your outfit. That's a nice purple suit, right?
Well, thank you so much. Again,
who's the brain behind all of this?
I think I have a niche. I have a niche for looking good, and so I commit myself to looking good.
I think that special person should be commended, though.
Yes, I have my designer, Love Chichi. Love Chichi designs what I wear, and
I'm not talking about Love Chichi. I know Love Chichi is.
Oh, okay. Now I understand where you're going. You don't want us to have that conversation, Dennise. I know where you're going. We don't want us to have that conversation. Oh, they didn't hear my side. But yeah, let's reserve it. And by the way, that special person celebrates her birthday on April 8th.
Oh, a day after mine.
Oh, you see there. So you see,
two
precious ladies are celebrating their birthday on the 7th and 8th respectively.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But then let's enter straight into our talking points this morning. And we'll start with this issue of drugs abuse in our country. Drug abuse. And the society, Liberia, we like to talk about these things. And I know all of us, we are excited whenever we bring political discussions. But those things that affect the fabric of our society, we must always unearth them.
Yeah.
We all know how our communities are getting dangerous by the day. Even in broad daylight, Dennise, you cannot move freely in your community because you have these young boys who are normally community dwellers.
Yeah.
They live with you in these communities. You see them growing up, and out of a sudden, they become wayward. They become disadvantaged youths. And I don't agree with people who call these people disadvantaged youth. Because if a young person consciously, with what we as why this society is, as exposed as we are, as the internet has made everything visible to us, to look at drug consumption as a way of appeasing yourself because you want to be in the social class, then I think you are not disadvantaged. You are just naive to look at something that will destroy you
and go into it. Yeah.
Now, but let's look at it from a more broader perspective. We have a government in place. The role of the government is to protect its citizens.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is to ensure that products that are brought into the country, substances that are brought into the country, are examined. That is from the end of the Ministry of Commerce. Besides that, those who are responsible to ensure that our borders are manned and there are no infiltrations from people bringing in substances that are not permissible in our country, those institutions should now begin to ask themselves, what role are they playing to ensure that Liberia is safe from what we see as substance abuse.
Yeah.
What role are they playing? In my mind, if all of the agencies of government, different ministries and agencies who are responsible for ensuring that these substances are not brought into the country and they are not sold by individuals. We've heard different news of top government officials being involved into drug peddling. You remember the allegation made by a drug enforcement agency officer against a representative.
Sure.
That you saw the
till
representative.
now, nothing has been done.
Nothing has been done, even though the representative denied. But we are all aware about how this individual has been very involved. In fact, that was what catapulted him into being a lawmaker, because he was involved in this and he has his different quote unquote what they call blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, where they sell these substances.
Yeah, and they favor him to
win.
Yeah.
And he used the money that was, I mean, that was gotten from that business to win elections. Even though these are allegations, but that is what. But has the police investigated? Of course not. Nothing came from out of it, because his colleagues back him and said, "Oh, that one not the man."
Yeah.
Because they were afraid for the house to be held in, at a higher standard or be held in public disrepute. So I am saying this to mean that those who are responsible for ensuring that our country is safe from drugs and that drugs are not imported in our country and our youths are not destroyed, they must now begin to take steps that will ensure that our children, our young people do not get destroyed. Because if you are listening to me or watching this, if you go in your various communities, you will see these young people. They are not children, they are young people who are involved into taking drugs, and it has made our society unsafe. You think those who fishing through your windows in the night, you think are BB people? They are young children.
Exactly.
Young people. I don't know why children keep coming in my mouth, but they are young people. They are above 18.
Yeah.
But they are youth. These are people who should be the future leaders of our country. They are the ones who should be the future leaders of our country. We are taught that the government will have taken steps through the legislature to pass this drug law. But then the drug law continues to linger on the floor of the Liberian Senate.
Yeah.
We are not aware what's happening now. We are not aware. But this substance abuse is making our country insecure by the day. There could come a time where even our security forces will not be able to contain these people.
Yeah.
You remember the situation in the Douala end there, where there was conflict
between the police and those drug
users.
Yeah.
Because the police, along with the DEA, had invaded one of their drug centers.
Yeah.
And these their ghettos are being planted in various communities, and people are acting unaware. They think you're taking for a joke. In the word of a former representative Slaw, the late language Slaw, when it stinks, we will not be able to contain it. When it stinks, we will not be able to contain it. Remember the situation again right here on Broad Street, where they said rescue mother Fina Bono was giving money to them. SKD, she didn't get money, so they rushed to town and they started vandalizing places. I mean, that is the danger these people pose to our communities, to our country as a whole.
And for me, Fidel, I would tell you for one part that I would say the government has failed on that effort in terms of removing those disadvantaged youth from the street, because on the onset of this regime, the government told us, I think through the president, that there would have been efforts to remove the Zogos from the streets. Until now, we have not seen any plan of such. They are still every corridor of our society. They are still there, especially in Central Monrovia. You get on Broad Street, you see these people, we call them zogos, though we say disadvantaged youth.
To make it fun. That all
Yes,
the can
you go, yes, everywhere you go, you see them. They are all around, and they feel so proud to be in a society. They feel so proud to, be on the streets, and they will be like, as if to say they are the one that can direct which car you get in and how you get in that car, and no one can do anything because people are afraid that perhaps that person may harm them. And this is bad for our society. It's all as a result of this effect of illicit drugs. Yes, illicit drugs, and we continue to talk about that. And like you talk about the DEA officer, the female that went at the house, and she talked about a particular lawmaker, but as we learned, because of intimidation of fear, she could not call the name of that lawmaker. And today we have that in our society. There are a lot of people who are involved, but perhaps because of their connections, they cannot be, arrested, or perhaps tell them to stop. And all in our society, we see it. We see ghettos. We see people getting high on a normal basis, and no one is doing anything about it. Yes, they are getting high. That's the word. And no one doing anything about it. And even the youth now are getting involved. The children go to school, they follow their friends who lure them into it, and some of them, because their friend will tell you, oh, you're not big boy, if you don't do this, and they will just get into that, and at the end of the day, their future is just destroyed. And till now, there has not been any action. The government, I remember the president saying, we are going to ensure that the Zogos will be taking all the streets. Till now, there's no effort being done about that. Though we saw there was launched about some, I get to be corrected, 1 million or how many million was launched as part of that from the president, to have the construction of the home. But what has been government effort to ensure that these people are taken from the street? And when there are stringent measures again, then you will find out that those who want to get involved will not. If they can take them, they have a lot of places in the counties where they can carry them far to reach area to do work. If they start to take them from the street, there'll be people also say, no, I cannot join this. But till now, it is destroying our society. Perhaps some people are using the drugs to get money, to sell the illicit drug and make money, so they don't care. You have the DEA. The DEA will go in the community and carry on raid. At the end of the day, we'll see that same area the people stay operating. So what are they doing? It is about time. This is about societal issue. It is destroying the youth. They are destroying their future. And if the youth continue to take the illicit drug, tomorrow there will be no future for Liberia, because those who are expected to take a leadership role are the ones who are involved with the illicit drugs issue. So that should claim the attention of the government. We saw the chair on youth, right? I think Darius DeLon, who had this youth center as well, and there was so lot of politics around that, too many politics around that, and we hope that they all can work together to ensure that they are taking off the streets, and our youth cannot be destroyed by the intake of illicit drugs. Fidel.
Exactly, and it's very important, and I hope we can elevate this conversation. And I want us to be very informed about what's obtaining there at the Senate regarding this drug law. Jackson Clay is our legislative reporter. It's important because I don't understand. And that's why people keep pointing accusing fingers at some of these top officials. Oh, because they get connection with these drug thing, and so they're not paying key attention to. But the lives of our young people are being destroyed as a result of this.
Yeah.
And if we don't take concrete steps, we'll have a problem. Let's join Jackson Clay to enlighten us on this drug law. Good morning, Jackson.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning, Dennise, and our many listeners.
Okay, so we know that the drug law is before the Senate. What is delaying the passage?
So, like you said, you are quite correct. The drug law is currently before the Liberian Senate after it was passed by the House of Representatives. It's sent to the Senate for concurrence. So the delay here is that because the Senate passed, the House of Representatives passed the law that the drug law will not be billable generally. So what now the Liberian Senate is trying to characterize the punishment, that is, if Jackson is an importer of the drugs,
Mhm.
and Jackson is caught, Jackson will not be billable. It will not be a billable offense for Jackson.
Mhm.
But if Fidel, who is the taker,
Mhm.
because it's because of Jackson who make Fidel is taking it,
Mhm.
Fidel now turn to the victim. So Fidel Fidel should be a billable one if Fidel is caught, and wherein you can bill Fidel out and you can rehabilitate him and like that. So
Mhm.
that's where it is. So you cannot just across the floor be non-billable. So they're trying to capitalize it, and those who will be the custodian to of it. So if I bring it into the country and Dennise is keeping it,
Mhm.
me and Dennise will not be billable. But those who are taking it, who they refer to as
The victims. Okay.
yeah, must be a billable one. So that's where the debate is, and it's still before the Liberal Senate. So they are trying to categorize it and categorize the various punishment for drugs users and drugs importers.
So according to the process at the legislature, once changes are made by the Liberian Senate, they have to go into a conference committee, right?
Yes,
Um,
that is it. So
yeah.
the committee from the House of Representatives, a committee from the Liberian Senate,
Mhm.
we have to meet so that they can harmonize the two versions, because the Senate will pass a version different from the House on a version.
Mhm.
So you got to meet so that they harmonize the two versions so that it becomes one. That's why we call the conference committee. But up to date, Senator Dillon, Spanish Chairman, and few other senators were appointed by Senate Pro Tempore Abachi to serve on that conference committee. But up to date, until they close for their first break, when we asked the Senate Pro Tempore, he said yes, the committee is still working, and they've not yet finalized before they can be done with passage.
Okay, thank you so much, Jason Clay. Now we have an insight of what's obtaining regarding the drug law. Okay, so you see there. So I think this should have been treated with a degree of urgency, Dennise, considering what this whole drug thing, the kind of impact is having on our society.
Yeah.
The future of this country depends on the young people, and if the young people who should be the future leaders are the ones who are involved into the consumption of drugs, then I think the Liberia future hinges on something like a threat. That's how it is, because these people, not only are they liabilities to society, they are security threats to the existence of even the society.
Sure.
And that's why it is important that those who are close with the authority to ensure that the first stop the importation of drugs, ensure that those young people do not have access to these drugs to consume them, and even make sure that even if they consume them in worse instances, they are rehabilitated.
Yeah.
We're already fighting competing priorities.
Yeah.
They don't got to take some our money to go give it to people because they're taking drugs. Because there are people who are connected, who bringing in drugs and benefiting from these drugs.
Yeah.
And so we turn around again and use the money we're collecting in revenue to rehabilitate Zokos. And we need to talk to Senator Abraham Darius Dillon. Dillon is doing a great job in relations to the rehabilitation of these people.
Yeah.
He has built a center. Even if that far person will go to that center, say, if far human being will be saved from the whole drugs thing.
Yeah.
They will be rehabilitated and sent back to the communities to contribute. But Dennise, this is a serious issue, and I don't know how people see it, but I see this as a national security threat.
Yeah.
Few years ago, we only have one people. You have one people in the community. You used to see them.
Yeah.
But
now it's
when
rampant.
5 young men pop at you, about 3 of them, they already taking that thing.
Yeah.
And they get it from anywhere.
And it's destroying.
It's destroying them.
Yeah.
Go
It's
to
destroying
Center
them.
Street. Go see human being. Look, if your relative is not part of it, or maybe you've not seen them, then you wouldn't have the urge to ensure that our government does something about this drug thing.
Children just on the street.
Children
You are not crazy, but because of the use of illicit drugs, you just on the street, and it's so bad. It's so bad. You have a child coming up with promising future. At the end of the day, you see that child outside there And for every household, there might be one person, you know, that has that situation with them. So this issue is not just unique to a particular group of people, but almost everyone in Liberia is concerned about that. So the need for government to take a prompt action, it is necessary to ensure that we do not have our youth being destroyed, and where we cannot have a future generation, because they are the one. We say Liberia is a youthful population, a youthful country, and the youth should be prioritized. The need to ensure their development, it is also part of that. It is part of their development. So the need for government to ensure that it is good. And like you talked about the last time, because they said they couldn't give them money, so they were all on the wrong page and, you know, disturbing around. And following that, the president went, I think, at one of the centers that someone is handling in Masher, and he made a statement to them. He said, this time, if you people come around when we are there, we're not going to give you money, because by us giving you money, it's like we are, you know, supporting your habit. So we are not going to give money. And I hope and pray that they can stick to that, you know, in terms of not giving them money. Because whenever they see officials around, they will come and be singing songs and be coming around, then you give them money. They see that as a means of you supporting their habit, because they don't do anything with the money. All they do is to go take in that substance, which will destroy them, and they feel they are on top of the world. Which is wrong. And you find out that every corner of our society, you go Broad Street, they are there. There's no limit. There's no limit to the threat that they pose for the citizens. They are everywhere. Due to that, people leave. When they are leaving work at night, they are afraid. When they are on the street, they are afraid, because someone will come and check your phone, someone will check your bag, someone, you know, will attack you or way or the other. So it is actually alarming. We cannot overemphasize this thing, but the need to ensure that, you know, the rightful steps are taken. It is very much important.
Okay, so yesterday, there's been continuous protests from workers of the Ministry of Transport regarding their increment in their salaries. And quite legitimately too, they've raised these concerns consistently. They've indicated that they've made engaged different offices of government, the legislature, the Ministry of Finance, I mean, even the transport authorities, I mean, ministry authorities there, they've engaged them, but to no avail. Now, Dennise, the issue of salary at any entity is very important. Let alone government ministries and agencies, where it is expected that these individuals, especially those who are collecting revenue on behalf of the government, what financial experts have found out is that if an individual is collecting revenue and that individual is not paid adequately, sufficiently, there is a tendency that the revenue collection stream could be widening. No, not widening, but it could be dwindled. All right, because those individuals will start taking bribes from people that they are collecting those legitimate revenues from. And when that is done, it means the government's revenue envelope will drop. And when it drops, just consider LRA, for example, that's collecting revenue. And you're not paying them good. Ministry of Transport, that also collecting revenue, you're not paying them good. All right? Customs. Okay, but I mean, customs fall under LRA. But those people who are collecting revenue and you're not paying them, imagine them open up the gap and say, you know what? We're not collecting lawful revenue on behalf of the government. If you're supposed to pay $50, you know what? Just bring $15 or $20. When we're not collecting revenue that are business, you know what happens to the country, Dennise? Liberia, we already have an issue with generating revenue. We've made our revenue stream so tight to the extent that we do not look in other areas where we can get money from. Past governments and endorsed by this government, they've given tax breaks and tax waiver to companies that should be paying huge money in taxes. That alone have dropped the revenue. Now, then you get people who working at the Ministry of Transport, where they are collecting revenue on behalf of the government for the operations of the government, and these people are crying that you're not paying them sufficiently. I listened to the Minister of Finance on yesterday. We pay nobody in government making 150, and the least money they making in government at 150. But these people should be treated above any other civil servant. And I said this to me, these are the people who are bringing money to the government of Liberia. I'm told 5% of what is collected by the LRA is given to the LRA back. So if SIM is happening at the Ministry of Transport, then who is consuming this 5%? Because it should be added on the salaries of people who are working at the ministry. Who is consuming them? Now, Samuel Wulu arrogantly, when our reporter got in contact with him, as if the points being raised by these workers are illegitimate, decided to respond in a more violent manner. Now, as a leader, when you are confronted with such a problem, regardless of the enormity of the problem, you should be able to exercise maturity and due diligence in handling that problem. Now, the way he behaved on yesterday gives me this impression that this man doesn't have that proper mindset. You take a light bulb that is not meant for a particular socket and you insert it in that socket and you think the light will shine. It wouldn't. This man has no proper mindset. The intent of this government is proper. Then the NIA proper.
Yeah.
A man who does not have a proper mindset is being given a position to help those who should be whose lives should be elevated. Then it's pretty tell me, how do you expect this man to operate effectively? There have been cries from the Ministry of Transport aside from salary issue. You go in offices, Dennise, they won't get nothing there to work with. The ministry does not have what they call it, office supplies. No computer, no printer. If you get something, you gotta go buy a sheet outside. I mean, if you are a leader and you are heading such an entity, doesn't it prick you that you cannot do your job and people gotta cry to that level? Samuel Ulu, you're not bothered by it. And this is a man whose seditions have been crying on. Again, quite legitimately, because he worked in the Ellen Johnson's Relief Land Administration. He was there and he was brought on. Now, when you work at a particular place for a period of time, Dennise, there should be a level of experience that you bring to the job. And you should be able to identify what the problems at that institution is and how you can solve those problems. But this age-old problem you mended, those same problems continue to persist. Yet you are a leader. So these people are crying. Look, Dennise, the state of our economy requires everyone to have money in their pocket every day.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you got to get money in your pocket every day. The state of our economy requires everybody to get money in their pocket. There are people who've worked illegitimately. They've worked illegitimately. You're not able to give them money. You're not able to pay them. The Minister of Finance has to come from his office to come and intervene. Because Samuel Wulu is there, Mr. Big Boss. These are the people who are crippling the administration of President George Weah. And apparently he has not identified these individuals. And this may cost him a lot. We are at the verge of elections. And you have people protesting here and there for salary. Doesn't this stink, Dennise?
Yeah, so I think you have said it. You have said it right. And the issue about even the proper aspect, I would think that the issue with Samuel Wulu is that he has a problem in terms of his performance at the Ministry of Transport. Quite recently, we heard that there was some how do I call it? Some internal wrangling, yes, with him and his deputy, one of his deputy also. That shows that there are a lot of issues, at the Ministry of Transport that needs to be taken care of, and the minister himself is not bothered about those situations, and all he does is just go about. We talk about the employees were agitating on yesterday as it relates to transport. Their salary increment or salary. Fidel, I tell you that at that ministry, through investigation, we found out that there are people over there who have degree and making $78.
Imagine that.
People are making 120 United States dollar, 78 United States dollar degree holders at the at the Ministry of Transport. They are making that money as salary, and you have now they have made several representation to the minister and also to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance plays a greater part in this whole issue because all came as a result of the harmonization as well.
Exactly.
Yes, those people were already, they had their pay issue, and the harmonization came into play with them. That. And you talk about agencies or ministries that are revenue generating institutions. You have the transport ministry. Transport ministry carry on regular exercises almost, I don't know, every time that people should pay, people should go and register, people should go and get their license. They are generating revenue. If they are generating that money, how is it being, a portion that they cannot have increment at the ministry? That those people for 5 years, they have been pleading. The last time we talked about Minister Samuel here on yesterday, saying that he's one of those two who are causing harm to this government, and perhaps because of the relationship or the connection, he continues to occupy that position. These people are there $78 for someone who has a degree and $120, and you have the directors taking $500 perhaps based on the harmonization. They are taking $400, and those people are there, and you cannot do anything about it. They have made several representation to the Ministry of Finance, but they decide to play blind eye or ears to what the people have said. They decide not to listen to what the people have been talking about. And mind you, now you talk about election is just around the corner. We are talking about election. These are things that need to be handled. You cannot have people going to work, and that place is where people have license to drive. If they are not paid the rightful way, we will start to see people having, people who are not drivers
get in the streets.
Yeah, getting a driver license. It will have series of accidents because why? Those who supposed to regulate the license issue, and they are not doing it because why? They are not being paid the rightful way. So you have people doing on the side thing, and that's how corruption comes into being. Because the people, like you said, they are seeing the money coming, but it's not taking effect. They are not benefiting. They are not having a just benefit or salary for themselves. They too have their family. How do you expect them to cater for their family if you're not doing the right thing? And they have talked, and you decide not to listen to their plea, to sit on the table with them and say, how can we do this? Okay, let's see whether we can do this. But you decide not to listen at all. And I learned on yesterday when they started the thing, Samuel Wulu came, perhaps he wanted to talk to them, but at the end of the day, he went and ordered PSU to come, and disperse the crowd, and the padlock that they put on the door, try to forcibly remove it, and all of that. So these are things that should claim the attention of government. We are just in, I think, 7 or 6 months now to elections. You cannot have these things coming up. These protest was done in the past. Few years ago, there were several protests around here, or a lot of protests around the town. Now the crucial time to election, government needs to come to the table, sit and see how best they can solve these things. These are not things that should be coming up. The Ministry of Transport, the Minister of Finance as well, Samatua, should ensure that these things are remedied to help the people. They cannot be agitating for salary increment, and the grade is so low, $78, $120 for BA, holder. It is wrong. For first degree, it is wrong. Yes, Fidel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Smith, you have to come in here quickly. We have a problem. So, folks, that's it right there.
Yeah.
The drug law. The Senate has to pass the drug law as quickly as yesterday. Let them, come to a conclusion as to the kind of punishment they want to mete out against those who are involved in the process.
Yeah.
But I think this is an emergency call for our people, that we should treat this drug thing with our two hands. I mean, hold it tight and let's treat it like that. Because hey, you may have 75 persons in the street right now. I mean, but in the next 1 year, you may have 150 persons. And that's why we are commending Senator DeLong for what he's undertaking. We think that it should be extended. The government should open a rehabilitation center for these people. I mean, look, Dennise, this is a national security threat. And I don't know why people don't see it like that, but it is what it is. People will start, these drug users will start even attacking government officials' homes and, you know, going into their homes and destroying lives. I mean, let's take for example the situation with Charlotte Musu, right? Who know whether that's somebody who not take drug? I mean, do that one there now, because when they finish taking drug and then nobody gets sense again. But these are the things that happen. The armed robbery that go on in your various communities. Have you wondered who are they? I mean, this is what we have at hand. Very serious national security issue. And the Ministry of Transport, you remember a few days ago, it was the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Employees were protesting again for money business. Yet Samuel Toa say everything okay. I mean, the kind of assurances that he gives makes it appear like he's not even on top of the issue. How you would tell me say everything okay then? Okay, so Dennise, we gave you the correct money, we gave you your correct money. Then you start protesting. On what grounds are you protesting? And is it possible that people from Ministry of Transport will be protesting at the same time why people are Mines and Energy Ministry will be protesting because of the same salary issue? What is the confusion? It is the responsibility of agencies of government to provide clarity to the confusion that may exist amongst these workers, because I don't want to believe that this is confusion. I think it's intentional. We are almost to elections. 2 months now, the people in TP, yet we think revenue is on the uprise. We've set the budget at some kind of level that we believe will appease our people, that the government is doing well. The real doing well is the interpretation of people's lives being better. That is the doing well. It's not the whole thing about GDP growing and inflation coming down.
They don't want to see the direct.
Reality is the direct impact of these things on the lives of the people. That is the impact, and that is the responsibility that Samuel Toa has. And I don't know why he has not realized this. There could be mammoth protests from different ministries and agencies across this government if we move into 3 months without pay, especially when we are at the verge of elections. 2 months now, people crying, no pay. But still, we still feel that revenue is doing well. So where is this money being taken? If we are doing well, where is the money being taken? Are there people doing off-budget spending? Because that could be the only reason why we're getting more money and people crying from different areas that the money not impacting them. Maybe we're doing more off-budget spending.
So we need to find out.
If we're doing more off-budget spending, then there is a concern. So these things have to be handled holistically. I don't know why, but that is how we see it, Dennise. Let's go to the phone lines now, and when we come back, 9 o'clock, we take our break. And at 9 o'clock, we take Grand Coup County Superintendent, who'll be on the program this morning. 0777-105-100, 0777-105-100, 0555-105-100. The use of drugs in our country is a concern for us, as well as the protest that's going on across the country, especially in Central Town, with different ministries and agencies crying for salary, especially a revenue generating entity like Ministry of Transport, crying that no, they pay is too small. Even though Samuel Toa said every government ministers not minister but employees supposed to make at least 150 at the lowest. 150.
But the people making $78.
People making $78 and 120. But you see, I don't know what kind of number he can be looking at that other or can see.
Maybe be reading the graph or something.
What kind of number they can be looking at? We can
They're reading the graph different way.
Because if you are reading what we are reading, and maybe Minister Toa needs to move into these communities. Need to move at various ministries and agencies, take surprise visits, pay surprise visits to these ministries, talk to employees. What is happening there? There could be something on the book that he is aware of that's going on, but there could be other thing going on in these ministries and agencies. Because Dennise, if you have, maybe he has something on the book that he knows. And so for him there should be no reason why people should be crying. But maybe at that ministry and agency, the minister and the controller, maybe they got different things that they're looking at too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, kindly speak out louder. We
We
good.
okay?
The ambassador, welcome.
Yes, please speak out a bit louder.
You. Mhm. 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 Nah, but I believe you because our reporter was in Red Line Market, Dennise, remember?
Yeah.
And he said the people there are protesting because the leaders who they gave the money to, they not give them some. Hmm. So which bracket are you in? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. No, that's okay. Okay, my brother. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. 077 0777 105 100 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers to call this morning on the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And with me, Fidel, Saydee, and Dennise Nimpson, we will definitely maybe you need to recognize our guest on the program this morning, Dennise, and hear what they have to say. But again, it is a serious concern for us, and we here at ABC Radio, we will go at every length to ensure that the Senate passes this drug law and they are able to go into conference committee room, debate it as quickly as possible so that this drug law is passed, and not only passed, but they should be implemented. The law should be implemented. We have a serious problem with implementation. We have laws on the books, maybe not necessarily for drug, but for other things, and we still see a frequent violations of these things. One of the things is the code of conduct, and we got code of conduct, but the code of conduct looking non-existent. And what emboldens us as a people that we got law there, we disobey the law and do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Why can't get all that bravery? Why in other countries to just simple violation, people can stay in jail for the longest. In Liberia, people can just it starts with the leaders. When the leaders continue to look at the law in the eye and sidekick it, then you give the people, the commoners, the impression like, hey man, you don't need to do anything. That's how we living.
Yeah.
And a society like that does not improve. It does not develop. The people will continue to be stagnated in poverty and sweet mouth, sweet lyrics, and will make your life better. And I mean, all these promises do not make sense if there's no trickle down effect on the lives of the people. And that's why we continue to say that this country will not get better. Everybody will be kind, they will kind and promise. And it is not a George Weah thing. It is a team of past administrations, succeeding administrations from 1847 till now. That the only thing they talk about is, Liberian men know English. Liberian men know English. When they finish talking to you, hey, you will be convinced. And that is what, and because of the gullibility of our society, anybody who can speak good English, anybody who can speak sweet English, forget it, you will convince the people.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, they don't want to check how you are in terms of integrity, what you bring to the table, and what impact you can have on their lives. They are not concerned. And that's why people continue to enjoy and they continue to be in a revolving cycle in our society. The impact is less, the talking is more, and the lives of the people continue to be subjected to poverty. And this country will continue to have this revolving cycle from one government to another if we do not take concrete steps that are geared towards bettering the lives of our people.
Yeah.
And this society will remain stagnated as it is. And we will hear the promises. Government will come, they will do 1 or 2 roles, they will do 1 or 2 projects, but the real economic impact of these projects will not be felt, and your lives will not be improved. We will live from hand to mouth. We have a country where people are in hospitals and drugs are lacking. People have to leave. They have to give prescription to patients to go to drugstores to purchase medicines. We have to, our educational sector, there are schools across this country that students do not have chairs to sit on. They do not have desks. Our health system is challenged. Our educational system is challenged. Our justice system is challenged. Because we do not have people who are in leadership, who are able to exercise patriotism. All we care about is ourselves.
Yeah. What will we gain?
What will we gain? That all. So that is why people continue to experience fatigue. This voter apathy will set in day by day. People will say, I will register, but I will not vote. Or I'm not even registering. Because all the people who put in power, all of them they sin. And sometimes that's why I do not frown at the people. But again, you have to frown at them when they subject themselves to being purchased by politicians because of their votes. This is why we continue to have these things. And Liberia, we will not go anywhere. We keep being in this cycle till we realize that this country, Liberia, requires the efforts of each and everyone in order to improve. Other than that, we are in the revolving cycle. Let's take our break. Dennise, when we come back, we take the superintendent of Grand Crew County on the line from Barkleyville City, where she's preparing to host the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Let's take this break right here and be back on the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Our responsibility is to talk about these things, and the government's responsibility is to act. And you as citizens, your responsibility is to pressure government to act. Because if you keep quiet, little bro, we know the government are fakao. If you keep quiet, you will continue to live in abject poverty, and your life will not be improved because they do not care, especially when you do not pressure them. That is how Liberia is. Let's take this break and be right back on the program, The Morning Breeze. Bank of Liberia. And basically, it's not that simple.
Give the way that you get the bricks you use to build your house. See how strong the bricks look.
I got them from Rovia Bricks. Do not tell me you have not heard about Rovia Bricks.
You mean they are located in Liberia?
Yes, Angie. Rovia Bricks is a division of Rovia Logistics Incorporated, and they offer a variety of concrete products for all your construction needs. They have 6, 7, 8, and 4 inches blocks. That's not all.
Tell me more.
Rovia Bricks have covers for roads and well, cornerstones, Colombo blocks, yard tiles, sand, be it smooth, rough, and mixed. They even have red dyes for land filling and crushed rocks of all sizes.
How can I get to them?
You can locate Rovia Bricks right at the corner of McDonough and Carey Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street. Call Rovia Bricks on 077-874-231 or 0888-726-172. Email them on rovialib@gmail.com. Better still, WhatsApp them on 0777-874-231 or Facebook Rovia Logistics Incorporated.
I'm calling them right now for that man's swampy land. No time to waste.
Man, take it easy.
Bokonjide Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjide Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokonjide Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603, or better still 0886-622-559, or email us at bokonjidegroup-of-companies@gmail.com. Bokonjide Group of Companies, Nunde.
Rovia, oh Rovia. Yes, Rovia Logistics is back. Have you been looking for a one-stop shop to rent and hire machineries of all types? Look no further. Rovia Logistics Incorporated is the answer. Rovia Logistics has wide range of machines like dump trucks to haul your sand, red dye, crush rocks, and border rocks.
As for your construction needs, do not worry. Rovia Logistics have all sizes of yellow machines to meet your desire. They have machines like bulldozers, compactors, excavators, forest machines, backhoes, and many more.
The interesting part is you get to hire them hourly, daily, or monthly. And that's not all. They also rent pickups of all types like Toyota Tacoma, Nissan Frontiers, Ford F-250, and they are equipped with all-wheel drive options for bad road conditions. Locate Rovia Logistics Incorporated right at the corner of McDonough and Carey Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Window Street.
Contact Rovia Logistics on cell numbers 0777-874-231 or 0888-726-172. You can also email them on rovialib@gmail.com.
Better still, WhatsApp Rovia Logistics on 0777-874-231 or message them on Facebook, Rovia Logistics Incorporated. Rush now for quality services at affordable prices.
I like it. I like it.
Welcome back to the program on ABC Radio 1 this morning. Welcome to the program, and it's great to be here this morning, contributing to Liberia, contributing to Liberia's growth, and it's an exciting feeling. Okay, welcome back to the program this morning. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And of course, we had issues right here this morning, but that has been resolved. And we're trying to get in contact with the superintendent. And of course, she told me last night that she will be going in other parts of the county to ensure that the visit of the vice president is successful. So apparently she's out of coverage area because I just can't get her. But we keep trying her. If we do, we get her on the line. But at the same time, we have to continue with the program this morning. And so on yesterday, there was an incident in the Fender community. All right, in the Fender community, where the University of Liberia is. And a group of aggrieved citizens around Fender staged a protest. And quite unfortunately, during the protest, the police and the protesters clashed. You know, see police and protesters clashing? They clashed. And because the people were protesting that their homes were destroyed in 2016 by the former government of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the Unity Party-led government.
Yeah.
Their homes were destroyed, and they were promised to have been compensated, resettlement as they call it, for them. That was in 2016. And this is because the University of Liberia is claiming some 5,800 acres of land that these people were residing on. According to the university, the land belongs to them. And so the government said, okay, you can take the land, but we will have to resettle these people who we are removing from this land because they've occupied it for a period of time now. And so all we can do as a responsible administration is to resettle them. And so the government promised to resettle them. That did not happen, Dennise. The administration of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not resettle these people. And so they had it in mind. They were vexed that they were not resettled and they were removed from this land. And so the administration of President George Weah again inherited this problem of the unsettled benefit of those who were occupants to the land that is being claimed by the University of Liberia, and has already been given to them by the government of Liberia, for the fact that those who resided there were removed, their homes were demolished. President George Weah committed to paying these people the money that was promised them as resettlement benefits because of the demolition of their homes. Again, like President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that was not done. Dennise, it was not done.
Sure.
So now the president is at the verge of ending his first tenure. What better way do you think would have been feasible for them, or better time than now, in calling the attention of government in this manner through protest, that there is a need to settle us, because the money now still on her. You know, when somebody owe you, how it can be? Is it the money now still on her? So we want it.
Yeah. So like you said, and I think most often you see people coming up in protest because of the negotiation or maybe talks that have been held in the past, and they are frustrated. Perhaps they cannot get redressed, so they will come up now to the public to speak on those issues. And like we said, government is continuity. So the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government promised those people their benefits in terms of resettlement. And according to them, we all learned it was 48 million
48
at
million,
first, and this government did well by negotiating. They went to 28 million. They said they negotiated the deal again, and they settled at 8 million for the people.
16 million for people, 8
Yeah,
million.
yes.
Yeah.
So they kept negotiating until they had to that point
8
of,
million.
yeah, to that. And the government now, through the negotiation, told the people, yes, we'll give you, some of this money, and 1 million, I think
They getting 1 million.
They getting 1 million first, and now another to pay this money, like you rightly said, those commitment, if it's not forthcoming, people who see that perhaps this government is going and they have made several representation or series of representation in terms of appealing that they get their resettlement benefit, and they cannot have that. You have these people coming up to the public, to agitate and come with protests and what have you. It is important because we all saw how that place was developed in terms of how the people build houses. There were houses built to that area of Fidel at that period in time. There were a lot of modern structure that people placed there. It was okay. But at some point in time, we saw that they said the University of Liberia has the land. So, there was need that they claim the land. Until now, though it is good that the university claimed the land, but till now, nothing has been put on that you see the place now, they got butchers all around there, and the purpose for which they said they were going to to use the land, it has not materialized. The place is just deserted, and just
nothing
like that.
there.
Nothing there like that.
You not get money to pay the people.
You don't get money
move from there.
Yes, and no money again to construct anything. So the place is just like that. So it is good enough that they benefit because there are people who invested a lot. When it comes to land business and it comes to it's kind of frustrating at times. People put in a lot, and at the end of the day, someone will tell you that this land is not for me, it's for another person. So there are people who got heart attack from that during that demolition exercise. So you can see how people were hurt in terms of the demolition exercise. Until now, they cannot get benefit from that. There have been series of representation according to them. So the government should see the need to address this, because like we said, it is important. You are seeking re-election, and you cannot have all of these things on the decks that are not been
How do you
accomplished.
go to the people to ask them for their votes?
Yes, and you want to come back to them. So there's a need that they see reason to handle these things. And Minister Samatua again is the one, because he's heading that post, and always it will be about him. This is why you are making decisions. You make decisions that will benefit everyone. We talk about the mobile exercise. You take huge sum of money like that, and you just waste it, you throw it away, and say you give it to people. There can be accountability, or people can be accountable for that. And today you have people agitating for 2 million, for 1 million, because they need something. And nothing has been done about that. So the need for government to actually sit down and plan and see how they can go about these things, because this was did not come out one day. We all saw with John Colley, right? John Colley, there was this dialogue. Zimmerland. They really had a dialogue. They were successful in having a dialogue with the people to reach out a compromise. Now the people have listened. What is your duty as a government now is what they are calling for. And we cannot continue to go like that. Protests all across the country, all across Monrovia and its environment, because of someone who should be doing certain thing, and they are not taking key to that. It has to do with those who the president put into position to perform. They need to perform. And I listened to the speaker, Speaker Buffer Streamer. He was talking about rooting out people who the president put into positions, and they are not performing. The president held their hand, and they appointed some of them, and they are there. They are not being supportive of the decisions and workings. So it is important. If you are called to serve, you serve good. There shouldn't be too much noise. You should be able to handle issues with people. You cannot wait when the people talk. You cannot handle it. When they go on the rampage, then you start to have problem with them. You have to start to have issues. Why are they doing it? So Fidel, that's it. That's the situation. It is unfortunate that we can come at this level to be discussing such.
You owing somebody for the 8 million. You say, let's negotiate. You negotiate. After you're finished negotiating, you say I will give you 28 million. The person agree. Then you go. After some time, you not pay the money. You come back again. You say let's negotiate again. The person say okay. You say this time I will give you 16 million. The person say okay. You go turn around again. You come back. You say no. We not get 16 million. We get you 8 million. The person say okay. We agree. I mean, see how these people, they've held patiently.
Yeah.
They've held themselves. They've reduced what they were asking for from 48 million to 8 million. Now you can make the 8 million available.
No.
Let me tell you, Dennise, you know, our people, and sometimes you don't want to say this, but you have to say it.
Okay.
The finance minister is putting a lot of people against the president. Let me this quote from one of the protesters in the new public trust publication of this story. Listen to this quotation attributed to one of their leaders. Quote, we are telling this footballing president, if you can reach out to the people, or if you can reach out to the people, we will not reach out to you. We are going to the voter registration center. We are not going to the we are going to register to vote this footballing president out. We are not violent, but we cannot buy our hairs from violence. Another protester sitting. Unquote. Now, when these descriptions are given to the sitting president of the Republic of Liberia, Dennise, something stinks. You cannot have people angry at the eve of election and you think they will go to election and vote you. That is the negative impact some of these things are having on the re-election of the president. And for some reason, I don't know why people who are holding different key positions in government have not recognized that. And I know when they go into their little sittings, they are aware that the election of Darius DeLong was as a result of some of these issues. And they identify them. It's as a result of some of these issues. The people were angry. So don't you think someone who relegated his asking price from $48 million to $8 million, and yet that $8 million has not been paid in full, you expect that person to be happy with you, Dennise? Do you expect that person to consciously go to the ballot box and vote you?
No.
These are things that those who are handling the affairs of the president, they have to look at. Look, nobody will vote you when they are not satisfied. Especially when I know that direct money that's supposed to come to me. For some reason, you decided to delay it or decided not to give it to me.
Yeah.
Since 2018, you were only able to pay 1 million. You were not able to pay the rest of the money. Yet our budget, our revenue envelope is doing well. You are not able to pay the rest of the money. Now these people are protesting legitimately too. And I always like to state legitimately because they are protesting for what belongs to them.
Yeah.
And that was the commitment you made in the memorandum of understanding that was signed with them. You cannot meet up with that commitment. Now you think the people will be happy as you go to elections. And you think they're crazy, they will vote for you. Somebody you got to do something. All the noise that across the country, you got to do something to bring it down. One of the noise that will come again, Dennise, that the issue of 2 months salary owed civil servants. Noise will come. Noise will definitely come.
Yes.
But what can they do now to avert this noise? That is our interest.
Yeah.
Let those who are waiting for their salaries or certain benefits, or people like defender people who've been agitating for months now, who've gone to the streets to protest, let them receive their money before we reach to that other town there. Because when we reach there, no message you preach to them will make sense. A hungry man is an angry man.
Yeah.
So don't expect anybody to come and say, oh, yeah, to come. Look, These are the important things that should be looked at by those who are handling the affairs of government.
Yeah.
Now let's get to what Buffer Chambers said. Dennise. Buffer Chambers was one of the loudest men you could find in the 52nd legislature. Buffer Chambers was as loud as anybody could think. In fact, because of his loudness, he was cornered by former President Ellen Johnson's relief. Because of his loudness. And he was loud for legitimate reasons. Because of the handling of the country then, the way the executive, through President Ellen Johnson's relief, handled the country then, that was why he agitated. And he complained, and he held one press conference after another, because of the style of governance that was used by President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Fast forward to what we have now. What has changed? I don't know. But guess what? Buffer has changed. Buffer has changed. Buffer has changed from the man who held Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, put her to the wall. That, Madam President, you are proceeding wrongly. You remember the Sifka deal in Maryland County? Buffer Chambers spoke against that deal. Several other deals, ArcelorMittal, Golden Beryllium. Buffer Chambers spoke against those deals.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today. Buffer Chambers is the man who's telling people that if you don't support the idea of government, then me, should I supposed to be close to the president?
I know.
Now, the president's idea must be one that is fixated towards improving the lives of the people. And so, for any reason, if others find his ideas as not being in the interest of the country, there's nothing wrong with someone not supporting him. He should not be threatening people. He should be concerned about the way the legislature, as per her responsibilities, are able to provide, or is able to provide, oversight responsibility. And ensure that ministries and agencies of government are able to do their jobs. Not just call them, invite them to the House of Representatives, but make sure that the reason for which they've been invited, those reasons are tangible, and they are able to solve those problems for which they were invited. That is your responsibility, Mr. Speaker. Your responsibility is not to look for people who go by what the president says and what he doesn't say. It is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to ensure that the Minister of Health is invited. Why are medications not at various hospitals across the country? Why are students still sitting on desks? Call the Minister of Education. Why are they still sitting on the floor when monies were provided in the budget for the purchase of over 1 million chairs for public schools across the country? You need to ask the Minister of Education. That is your job, Mr. Speaker. Your job is not to front for the president and who's supporting him and who not supporting him. That is not your job. Do your job. When the time for politics comes, we will talk politics. But you've changed from everything we knew during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. You've somersaulted 360 degrees.
It shows that everyone has their side, and whenever your side is not in the driving seat,
exactly,
you tend to be critical on the one that is present.
Exactly.
So that shouldn't surprise us as well to see that those who we are seeing be critical now, when their government has taken power, they too will remain mute. Because why? They are pursuing the agenda of that particular government. So that's it about Liberia. It shows that everyone is just after their own interest and not the interest of the people. Like what we heard, what we usually hear people say, you know, every time that the legislature is not in our interest, they are not making laws to affect us. Because why? All of these, majority of them, are in the interest of what they believe in. It's about interest.
Mhm.
It is not about the people. It is not about what affect the Liberian people, but what they can get and how critical they can be to ensure that the
Exactly.
side of support comes to power.
Exactly.
So that's it.
So it says to me that the vocal Yeke Koluba we know today, might not be the Yeke Koluba tomorrow if the side he supports wins the presidency.
Of course.
That is how, and it is becoming a revolving party in our country. Those who were oppressors of us yesterday have become advocates overnight.
Yeah.
And you see it all on social media. You listen to them on the various talk shows. Even though I believe that the standard of governance is the standard set by the Constitution. So if anybody, whether you were there before you didn't do it, and so you can't criticize, if you were there before you didn't do it, you can still criticize the system that is there. Because the essence of that system coming to power is because you did not do it back then. But again, then it comes to the issue of morality.
Yeah.
If you don't have morals, you do not have the balls to question anybody who doesn't have sin. Because you have no basis for doing so.
Yeah.
And the same applies to the governance of our country. So we cannot see, I am appalled by this new buffer chambers. It's like saying, as the Bible puts it, Saul changed from what? Saul to what? To Paul, right? Is the reverse of changing from Saul to Paul, but changing from Paul to Saul. That is what we have with Speaker Buffer Chambers. Everything, you remember the ARED report? They say everything, most of the decisions that were made by the legislature, the House of Representatives, the legislature holistically.
Yeah.
74% of that was in favor of the president.
Yeah.
So you understand why Buffer Chambers is speaking this way. Instead of being police for the president, somebody who will checkmate the president, he's becoming the mouthpiece of the president. That is the stage at which our governance structure has decayed.
And it portrays the system that we have in Liberia, where you have everything. We say we have 3 branches of government who should work independently to checkmate, one and another. But you have people just particular about one branch. And if you do not say yes sir perhaps to that branch, things don't go
no, they will
for
not
you.
go. They will not go.
It won't go normal for you. So everyone kind of praising, even it's not about this government now, but any other government will come, you have people or in the past, yes, you see the same thing. It's all about the president. So it's no longer about the system, what the constitution says, but it's about everyone should make sure that they please that president that is in power now, because if you don't, perhaps you won't be favored, you won't get what you should get, and it is just like that.
Yeah,
and our system is like that. It also forced to go down to other institutions, even media institutions. You tend to be critical, people, because we know that obviously media institutions run on advertisement and all of that. You'll see that you won't have advertisement, or you won't have contracts from quote unquote government institutions, because why? They see you as being critical, and you won't have that. At times even people will have problem with the state broadcaster and say, oh yes, you have the state broadcaster, that should be the state for the state, but you have them perhaps preaching the message of the government of the day, and that is something that in our society that we need to root out, and it continues to be like that, which of course that shouldn't be the situation. We should be able to perform independently, because our constitution dictates that we do that. But it is not going like that. And Fidel, I gave you an instant. When I visited the United States, right, you have the VOA. The VOA runs from the budget of the federal government, but they are not obliged to speak for the government. They can say both of their contents are outside of America, but they do report some things. And the government will not tell you, because you are reporting that, so we are not going to fund you. No, you won't do that, because no matter what, that budget or that funding will come. So this is where we are as a country. We are not, the issue of praise sinking or praise sinker, sycophantic behavior. It cannot develop this nation. And until we can decide to shift the narrative of our country. We'll continue to talk about these things, and we'll continue to persist in our society, and we'll just talk and talk, Fidel.
That is let me tell you the naivety of those who are at the legislature. I mean, especially the conduct of the speaker. You do the appropriation. Like you don't want to determine say they want here for Dennise, they want here for Black, they want here for Smith. You do that appropriation, so you have the power. So what it made you scared that you can't challenge some of the things that are put forth by the president? Why? What makes you afraid? Why are you timid? You know, timidity is something that has suffered our country. A lot of people do not have the balls to look at their bosses' faces and tell them the truth. But if you speak true to your boss, when your boss goes into his or her office, the time that person sitting down by themselves, that the time they can realize that the thing you were telling them that true.
Yeah.
They will not say it to your face most often.
No.
And they are able to identify those who are sycophants. And most often the identification of those individuals are done in their fallen stage. When they drown in, they say, oh, but then me advising me bad way. That's so bad pieces of advice you are giving me. That's when they are able to identify. But those who genuinely criticize the system and speak against the ills in the system, they are not seen as people who are patriotic. For them, people say you enemy of the state.
Yeah.
But these are the people who understand, who know what it is to be in this particular stage.
Yeah.
So I am appalled by the statement of Buffer Chambers and the Senate and the House of Representatives. They've worked in concert with the president to do some of the things that are happening. It is clear the president is now 1000% perfect. There are some errors he has made with the blessings of the legislature. And because the legislators are not men enough, or maybe the leaders of the legislature are not men enough to challenge some of these decisions, they tend to go through. But then posterity will judge them as being individuals who were silent on some of the misgivings of society, the misdealings of society. When the last time they really call Samuel Tue and say, Mr. Minister, I mean, the essence of the legislature, as per what the crafters of the Constitution taught, was to ensure there is balance in power. Balance in power means the executive does not have overpower over the legislature, and the legislature does not have power over the executive, and the judiciary does not have power over the executive or the legislature, and vice versa. That was the intent of the Constitution. It's not to have a band of yesers walking the corridors of our democratic space. And that is how institutions die. If you are afraid of the president, obviously you will be afraid of his appointees. So if a minister is not doing his or her job, you will be afraid to checkmate that minister. Even if you invite that minister under the cloud of you wanting them to account for their actions, you will not take concrete action against that person, whether they violated the Constitution or not. So what we have at hand for our country, Dennise, the hell about tax, the big tax, and we cannot make it without those in power exercising responsibility of ensuring that they do their jobs, void of any kind of external influence, which often is peddled by the president in power. So, Mr. Buffer Chambers, Speaker Chambers, let me address you by your title. Speaker Buffer Chambers, this country will not change if men like you continue to be in power. And that's reality. Same applies to Abachi. This country will not change if these individuals continue with the behavior that they have to stay in power. Liberia needs out of us. Every role that you occupy in this country, you are occupying that position to improve the lives of your people. And so if you cannot, trust me, we will have serious problem with you. So the issue that we have with Minister Samuel Tue is not personal. It's not personal at all. But he has a task that the entire nation depends on him. Every facet of this nation depends on Minister Samuel Tue. because of the decisions he makes, that is how this country will go.
Sure.
The noise in the country got to cease, and this noise will not cease if people not getting their pay. Dennise, we can be raising more money, and at the same time we have these serious issues in our country.
Yeah, and all of these are also attributed to the fact that the president was unable to do reshuffle in government.
Yeah.
For 6 years, they are not being reshuffle. And you have one person being complacent in a position, they cannot leave because they feel, oh, that's my platform. So I own that position, I cannot leave that position. So we all know that government job is public service, and you can be removed at any time. So if there's too much noise to where you are seated, the need for reshuffle or the need for someone to occupy that position is important. But when the people continue to crowd, when they continue to agitate that this person is not doing well and this person is doing something contrary to what we expect, and the person who is their master doesn't see the reason to take that person from that position, it becomes a problem.
Big problem.
A problem. And we have the finance ministry. It's a place that, the issue of money business, you cannot have one person being at a position for quite a long time. That person becomes complacent, the way they handle issue. So there should be shifting at some point in time. For 6 years, that man is there as finance minister. All of the noise that have come, you are still there, and they cannot have time to shake you a bit and say, okay, go to that other area and be there. We all saw in the past regime the issue of Augustine Kafouan and others. They were reshuffled from the Ministry of Finance to the Foreign Ministry. So this too should happen. And when you have your official and that goes to the president for perhaps he comes the second term, there's a need that the issue about government is not about friendship. It's not about, oh, that my picking over there, that the person I know. If noise coming today, tomorrow, if all of the noise come, it come on you. It doesn't come on those people who are occupying those positions. They are going to say, who regime was that? Who served? So these are some of the issues. And today we see the penalty being bear by or by all of past leaders and things. They are the one undergoing that how you call it, punishment, right? Or persecution. It is not their officials who are going through that. They are the one. So every decision you make, you should ensure that will reflect you. That will also bring about credibility, that people won't be questionable about your SSA or your leadership. So the need for reshuffle in government should be a priority to this government.
Well, I don't see that happening because we are almost to
that's
elections.
What I'm saying, perhaps the second time.
Yeah, we are almost in elections, and I thought that would have been done in key positions. There should be spin around. Even for those of us who are public administration, we know that when you allow a person to serve in a position for a protracted period of time, there's a tendency for reluctance on the performance of duties. There's also tendency for that person to use their position to exploit the system. And as a result of that, you will realize there will be inefficiency. Timely delivery on a lot of things will be a problem. And so I don't know, but maybe for some reason the president is satisfied with the performance of his ministers, because that's the indication. If I have Dennise in a position and Dennise is not performing, and I decide to keep her in that position for the length of my administration, it means I'm satisfied with the job Dennise is doing. So maybe the president is satisfied with Samuel Tua's job, even though there's noise all around. Maybe the president is satisfied with D. Maxwell Kimia's job, even though Maxwell was just appointed, right? He did not start the administration with our president. So there are lots of people who've been in position. The assistant minister part, the president can't even touch them. Deputy minister, you can't touch.
Don't even make people to feel like the both of you are the president. They are not running the country with you. You are running the country, so they should be able to be replaced at any time in at any point in time. So it is not about them; it's about you. You are the president. So for you, you can be there for 12 years. For those who are charged with the responsibility to perform, to carry on that duty, if they are not, with a lot of noise, you ensure that those people are are shifted to other areas that they can perform. Yeah.
Well, President Weah doesn't have a problem with that. Are you crying? But far as concerned, all his ministers are performing, and that's why they are in these roles. But again, this is what we have at hand: 0777 105 100 0555 105 100. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We've spoken about a lot of things, and you know, I mean, Dennise, we do this with a sense of excitement that, listen, the more we contribute to our society through what we see, the more the country benefits. And this will enlighten the voters as we move to these elections, that they will realize that electing people is not just by going to the ballot box and voting somebody because they are your brother or sister, or your brother or sister is connected to them. If we must change the system, our society, we must take concrete actions that are geared towards achieving that. If not, all I always say here, every morning we keep talking, and our aim is to make sure that our citizens are enlightened, so that they are able to make informed decisions on the basis of the information that they receive. Other than that, Liberia is doomed, and we will continue to go in revolving cycle. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, since the morning I've been listening to the radio, or I've been following the talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then the issue of the drugs what you're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
The issue of the drug aspect and the crime is discussed about, it shouldn't be that to say they are only discussing the people who taking the drugs in. The people who bringing the drugs also, who importing the drugs within this country. It should be a not available crime. Then the drugs will not come in the country. But if you take no side with the people who importing the drugs, that when they bring the drugs in, then tomorrow, when the consumer consume the drugs, then at the consumer you are taking to be do of the crime.
Okay. All right, my brother. Thank you so much. Let's take another person. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. But you live. I mean, you still on. I don't know why I'm not getting this person. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers to call this morning. Again, the conversation leading to ensuring that our people are educated, they are enlightened, they are informed about what's obtaining in their country is our sole responsibility. And what makes it even more important is the fact that as we move to these elections, these are people that we're counting on to make rational decisions, and so we must give them information that they can use before they make those decisions. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my comment had to do with the land business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to know, those are sold the land to the people who they demolish their houses. Why would be happening to them, or why is there research to see the people who they bought their houses there?
Okay. All right, my brother. Thank you so much. Let's rationalize this question, Dennise. What happens to? But in the first place, where those?
So we have a focus, right? And to that caller, we have a focus, and these people are protesting because government went in and took.
Yeah.
It's the land which they were occupying. Government said the land belongs to the University of Liberia, so they went into an agreement with them and said that we will settle you, and we have a package for you because we are taking the land. And if government wanted to deal with those who sold the land to them, they would have said we have nothing to do, go to the person who you bought the land from. So that's what we are discussing.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, how are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is John F. Tama calling from Central Monrovia.
Let's hear you, Mr. Tama.
Brother, we don't have to tell this country, everybody get their money and go away.
That's how you give up?
Because their regime is not all regime that come for Nigerian people. It came to empower their special needs. Look at the case of poverty. These guys are not leaders, man. They are rulers. In particular government, they are not leaders, they are rulers. See the hospitals, man. Our hospitals are the hospitals because Nana are sticking to their evidence. I'm sitting now on the bench because I made mistake to have it or hand club. I sent for it just now. I have a soul. You build a lot of hospitals in this country. You not empower hospitals. You say 14 military hospitals. You want Buffalo to build hospitals. You want to build another new redemption. Then the other hospital, you benefit.
Okay.
Absolutely, my brother.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give way for another person. Good morning.
Good morning, Fidel and Chief Dennise.
Morning.
Thanks for the platform. David Harris now called from Dennise this morning.
Yeah, David.
Fidel, on the issue of the land, I think national government will have to come in and ensure that those people that was taken from the land getting their just benefit. I think it's the responsibility of national government. But Fidel, I like the way you put it this morning. That is why I tune into the radio station every morning. I don't usually call. I like the way you put it. Because of the legs of Buffett and Abbott, if they continue to remain in power, this country will never be straight. Yeah, I like the way you put it. I like the way you and Dennise always come on the platform and speak truth to power. I hope and pray Almighty God will continue to strengthen you people and you people will continue to speak for the Liberian public. Thank you this morning.
Thank you so much. Keep your calls coming. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. The numbers to call to be a part of the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 on your radio and on the internet this morning on the program. Again, we have to do what we have to do for Liberia, Dennise.
Sure.
God placed us here for a reason.
Purpose, yeah.
And that reason we must fulfill. Even as dissatisfied as people may be about the way we talk, some of the things that we talk, I think we have an obligation to the state. And that obligation we must withhold at all time. I mean, to ensure that we too are able to meaningfully contribute to our country's growth. Because if we do not play our respective roles effectively, it means Liberia will not go anywhere. The same way we're crying on these people, that the same way the society will cry on us for letting them down, because we've decided to brush their affairs and focus on ourselves, which should not be the case. Okay, 055-105-100, 077-105-100 are the phone numbers. Let's hear you this morning as we discuss the demolition exercise that went on in let's say protest, because that's the focus. The protest, you promised the people you would get them for the 8 million. You went by there, you say, oh, I'm rancher for the 8 million. I got on the 8 million. And you know, then it's when someone owes you and then they promise you like that, oh, but I supposed to give you a $50, but I get it. Oh, I get $30. Your hope is that that person already has the $30 in their hand.
Yeah.
But you go again, you go turn around, you say, oh, Dennise, and I get $30, I get $20. Then Dennise expecting the $20. Then you go back to Dennise again. Dennise, and I get $20, I get $5. Then the $5 now you're not able to pay it. I mean, that is the issue. Then if look, let me tell you something, and I will be simplistic about this. When a government makes a commitment and the government does not follow up with that commitment, it renders her irresponsible. It let the power promise you, oh, leave that thing, man, I'll pay your school fees. Man, leave that thing, don't worry, go to school, I'll pay your school fees. The child already has in mind, or that person already has in mind, that there's someone who's taking care of his or her school fees. Now the person is prepared psychologically to go to school. Then you turn around and come to the person, oh, and I get money. Oh. So you even come to the person, that the worst case, you now go to the person, you just sitting down. School fee time, the person call you, you can't talk to them. They do this, you can't talk to them. Boom. They put the person out of school. Now, how do you want that person to see you? You've committed yourself to the person. How do you want them to see you? So that how the government behaving? And I know Minister Tua was part of this negotiation. He's the finance minister. He commits the government to financial obligations besides the Minister of Justice and other line ministries that may be involved with such negotiation. The Minister of Finance is always involved. So the Minister of Justice, who is the overall boss for the police, he the beamer for the police and all security agencies across the country, has he see the need to impress on the finance minister so that these people are settled, so that the security threat that they pose to the nation is averted? Doesn't he recognize that? So I mean, all the kind of things. So now when I said I can be thinking, I said, is it that these people are not communicating with us properly, or is because they are not doing their job? Because there are two different things there, Dennise. You could be doing your job, maybe in the background you're negotiating with the people, you're talking to them here and there, but you're not talking to the press.
Yeah.
That one thing there. Or you decide to say that let the people cause noise, man, that are business.
Yeah.
Which is which? But from what we know, because you've not come to us to tell us, we are not magicians. As far as we know, you are not negotiating with these people, and you've not negotiated, you've not communicated with them, and that is why they are on the rampage. This negotiation, Dennise, it had 3 stages. You can see they had the money was dropping.
Yeah.
It's based on negotiation. It had 3 stages. Still, the problem has not been resolved. What in there now? What in there? Give the people their 7 million, the balance 7 million. Give it to them. Give it to them. We get money. We're raising plenty of money. Get the people their money.
Pay them.
Pay them. Look, the people we're talking about, they able to sway voters. They get their family members in other parts of the country.
Exactly. There should be competing priorities.
Competing priorities.
That you settle.
We're talking about Nana, we're looking like Cheche Pole. When the time come, time for a campaign, and those same people, you go to them and they turn you back. The only president I'll be sorry for that the president. Because for him, he has able deputies that are doing their jobs. So there's no issue. He's relaxed. But again, the responsibility of a leader is to check behind the performance of those who you've appointed. Because mind you now, the Liberian people did not elect these people who are serving you. They are your able lieutenants in the execution of your duty, Mr. President. So if they perform in a bad way, it has reflection on you as the president. And it's something that we believe you must recognize now. Because if you not do it, whatever happens, it happened to you. Pretty tell me, who in Ellen Johnson's relief government are you hear them talking about, Dennise? It's always Ellen Johnson's relief. So
That's what I said.
The same way applied to Mr. President after he shall have left power.
Yeah.
Out of the dirt, the stockpile of dirt that these people are leaving behind, that you will reflect on. They will say, George Weah, that all you will hear, George Weah. That is what we have. Dennise,
yeah,
we have to wrap up.
Sure, we have to wrap up to be back here on tomorrow to ensure that we inform the Liberian people on what we are called to do.
Yeah. So the same way they will not get tired doing Baba thing, that the same way we will not get tired talking about those Baba things.
Oh, Baba, and when there are good things, we'll talk about
them.
Yes,
yes, we'll talk about them.
And as long as it's bad, we have to talk about that.
We continue to reflect the road construction work being done on the Somalia. I mean, not the Somalia, but the Freeport. Yeah. Right. We continue to talk about it. That's good thing. All right. That good thing. So we'll talk about the good ones, but we are fixated towards exposing those things that have held our country down, and those things that will continue to hold our country down, and those things that will be responsible if Liberians decide not to vote the president, and individuals who will hold accountable for the president not being re-elected. That is if it is the aspiration of a majority of the population. So again, it has been a pleasing duty serving you, the Liberian people. Again, this is what we've committed ourselves to, and we've committed ourselves to it, and we will do it every day. Even if they sit there for us to talk from minute 1 to minute 2, or what, from 1 minute to what, to 2 hours,
2 hours,
we do it. Me, I can get tired. The same way those who in government can get tired, we too here, we can't get tired. Dennise, we have to go.
Yes, and we have to go. And today we learned that the president would be, part of the Farmington River Declaration of 2023 by the National Elections Commission and the United Nations.
Okay.
So he'll form part of that signing ceremony today.
That's good. And that is to ensure a peaceful election void of violence.
Yeah. That
is the commitment the government of Liberia will be making on today. Okay. So folks, do have yourselves a great day. Again, we love serving you, and we do it with that degree of pride and nationalism and patriotism, because we believe in this Liberia, and we believe Liberia will grow and get better. Do have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, Liberia is our common denominator. Let's keep up peaceful at all times. Go up.
I like it.